Hello. We're learning life science and cell biology in a nutshell. We were learning about different kinds of molecules and bonds and functional groups that determine reactivity of molecules and determine how they function, etc. Um, so these are some functional groups which we went over earlier. Functional groups, they contain atoms bound via single, double, or triple bonds. They may be rings. Um, they may contain only carbon and hydrogen, which are carbonyl groups, oxygen and hydrogen, which are hydroxy groups. They may contain nitrogen and hydrogen amines, nitrogen and oxygen amides. Thiols has sulfur. Halides, alkyl halides have iodine, chlorine, fluorine, or bromine. So alcohol is OH. Ether is just O with carbons singly bound. Ester is two oxygens, one singly, one doubly bound. Carboxylic acid is like an ester, but it has an extra hydrogen. Ketone, aldehyde, as well carbon, oxygen double bound with one oxygen, while ester had two oxygens. So an aldehyde has a hydrogen. However, so these are the main things. Functional groups. Molecules capable of engaging in hydrogen bonding can be hydrogen-bound acceptors called HBA or hydrogen-bound donors HBD. A molecule is said to be capable of forming hydrogen bonds if it has a hydrogen atom bonded to one of the three most electronegative elements, which are nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine. A significant partial positive charge will develop on the hydrogen atom, and a significant partial negative charge will appear on the more electronegative atom, creating a permanent dipole moment. In order for a hydrogen bond to form between two molecules, the partial positive hydrogen must interact with the electronegative atom that has lone pairs and a dipole moment. An ether, for example, which is then oxygen singly bound to carbons, has an electronegative atom coming from the oxygen with lone pairs and a permanent dipole, but it lacks an OH, so it doesn't have hydrogen bond. Automatically, this implies that ethers cannot hydrogen bond with themselves. However, they can and do act as hydrogen bond acceptors, accepting hydrogen bonds from water. An ester is similar. It cannot hydrogen bond with itself because it lacks an HO bond. Ester, which has only two oxygens, one singly, one doubly bound to a central carbon, and carbon group on either side, so it doesn't have any hydrogen. It acts, however, as an HBA or hydrogen bond acceptor from water. So in the next section, membranes consist of lipids. So phospholipid is the main molecule making up cell membranes, biological membranes. So So these are the various lipids making up cell membranes, and the different kinds of cells in different kinds of tissues have different compositions of these lipid molecules in them. So we have the kind of lipid, for example, cholesterol. Is the content of this molecule is highest in red blood cell plasma membranes. So the other kinds of cells we're looking at, liver cells, myelin, which are nerve cells, mitochondrion, inner and outer membranes, endoplasmic reticulum, and E. coli, bacterium membranes. Phosphatidylethanolamine is another kind of lipid, highest in content in bacterium. Phosphatidylserine, highest in myelin. Phosphatidylcholine, highest in endoplasmic reticulum, followed by mitochondria and liver cells. Sphingomyelin is highest in liver cell plasma membranes. Lipids, which are lipids bound to carbohydrate, is highest in myelin and other kinds of lipids. So, other than those shown, endoplasmic reticulum and bacteria. Bacterial plasma membrane are often composed of one main type of phospholipid and contain no cholesterol. Their mechanical stability is enhanced by an overlaying cell wall. So cholesterol is not a part of bacterial cell membranes because they have a second a layer outside the cell membrane, like a cell wall. Cholesterol usually functions for adding rigidity in membranes by serving to go between phospholipid molecules. It adds rigidity, as we see earlier. This is what the molecule of cholesterol looks like, and this is how it plants itself between the phospholipid molecules, interacting with the polar and nonpolar ends of the phospholipid molecule and serving to add rigidity to the membrane. Cholesterol, which is a type of steroid, it has 4 cyclic rings, 3 6-carbon, 1 5-carbon, as well as a hydrocarbon tail and a polar OH group at one end, which interacts with the polar phosphate and alcohol head group of the phospholipid molecule, the membranes. So in bacteria, you have an inner membrane, which is the cell's plasma membrane, and an outer membrane as well. So between the inner and outer lipid bilayer membranes is a highly porous, rigid peptidoglycan composed of protein and polysaccharide that constitutes the bacterial cell wall. It is attached to lipoprotein molecules in the outer membrane, fills the periplasmic space. This space contains a variety of soluble protein molecules as well. So the polysaccharide chains of the lipopolysaccharide molecules form the external monolayer of the outer membrane. So bacteria with single membranes but thicker cell walls, such as Staphylococci and Streptococci, so their single membrane is analogous to the inner plasma membrane of gram-negative bacteria. Plasma membranes of eukaryotic cells, by contrast, are varied, and they contain large amounts of cholesterol and a mixture of different phospholipids. We'll continue in the next part.